Girls, please do not fight over me. I am not worth it. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one who's... I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as praised. What am I doing? What is this? What has become of my fucking life? I'm analyzing anime girls fighting over a fictional version of me, talking about their taste in literature and compensatory boob growing behaviors. It's fine. Hello. Welcome to Therapist Plays Doki Doki Literature Club. So, this is a game that I have been meaning to play for ages. It comes highly recommended from the community, which, given the nature of the content I make and the analysis that we do, and I guess what this audience likes to subject me to, I'm gonna guess that this is another depression game. When I booted it up, there was a content warning that said, not for the easily disturbed. So, I don't know exactly what we're getting into. I mean, you know, it might just be talking about like, you know, anxiety and depression, and which they are serious topics, but they're not like uncommon for us to talk about. Certainly not for my day job. I do therapy all day with people who have anxiety and depression and everything in between. So, not unfamiliar grounds by any means, but I am curious how this is going to emerge in what seems, at least at first glance, like a bubbly, happily detour from all of the fucking depression content that this community has been subjecting me to. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't know anything about the game, and I see a lot of cute anime girls. For those who don't know, before this was a gaming-focused channel, this was an anime-focused channel. So I know a little something about anime. But yeah, I guess no expectations. Let's see what we find. New game. I'm gonna get in here and go Brady. I may regret this. It's never a good choice to name myself in these games. I'm so gonna regret it. Hey! I see an annoying girl. Okay, this must be like me. I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. Okay. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this. Starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But she's gonna chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. I mean, how bad could she be? Okay, I feel like I've already been given like a negative prejudice against Sayori. That she's annoying, that she's oblivious, irresponsible, tardy, these sorts of things. I'm gonna suspend my judgment until I meet her myself. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Oh, there's Sayori. I overslept again, but I caught you this time. Here we go, there's my dialogue. Brady, maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Brady. I actually have to agree. It's a little bit mean of us. And look how adorable she is. How could we ever possibly consider ignoring her? Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. And why would that be, Brady? I already don't really like this depiction of me. And why wouldn't you want to be seen as a couple with Sayori? She seems like a very sweet, very friendly, if a bit socially awkward. Fine. But she's very perky as well. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean, even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. So dismissive of her. And look, all she's trying to do is see the best in us. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Brady, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Ooh, and she remembers our conversations. It shows a lot of interest in us. So she's very perceptive, but somehow she's kind of out of sync, like oversleeping, showing up late, that sort of thing. She's clearly like anxious. She's kind of an anxious person. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Bro, she's probably perfect for us, for you, okay? I'm starting to worry if Sayori has a romantic interest in us at all. She may be wasting her time. She probably deserves better than us. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting on by with the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Uh-huh. I was talking about how I'm worried that you wouldn't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. She does have our best interests in heart. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. Why? Why? What? Like, what are we doing to achieve that from her? I mean, we waited for her, and like, we sort of placate her by listening partially, but what have we done to deserve this level of interest, I wonder? Or is it even about that? Like, something else maybe. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. So this term I sort of know from anime. I think it stands for like not in education or training or something. I don't know what the other E stands for, but it basically means you're not doing shit with your life. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Right, all right. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Okay, so we are a little invested in Sayori, okay? Clearly, we do also want her to be happy. We're just a little bit annoyed by her for whatever reason. I guess she could be a little bit overbearing, you know, if she's constantly, like, focusing on us. Maybe it's a bit suffocating. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? She seems to really, like, depend on this, though. Like, more so than just having an interest in us. Like, I'm interested in the betterment of my friends, too. But I'm not, like... I'm not dependent on it. There's a separation between, like, my mental well-being if you're doing well and your mental well-being if you're doing well. But for Sayori, it's like, I'm only okay if you're okay. Which does have me curious. Like I said, there was a disclaimer that said this is about depression and anxiety and whatever. So I'm listening for the signals. Like, I'm basically doing my, you know, therapeutic assessment as I talk to her, which I can't help it. But there is clearly an anxiety there hidden behind these behaviors. I'm just not exactly sure what. So we need a little more information first. Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Look how she perks up when we make one small commitment for her. I bet if we just said yes to like some small things, it would like absolutely make her day. But I also get the feeling if we said no, it would destroy her. Which does reveal to me that she is somewhat on the knife's edge of personal stability, maybe. Like, a little too dependent, maybe, on others' well-being, maybe just specifically mine. Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? I think because we can sense it. You don't need therapeutic experience to have an intuition about someone who is kind of struggling. At the same time, I think that there's probably some built-in mechanisms that is having, you know, Anime Brady here overlook some things. More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. Yeah. All right, we're at school. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pick up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. What a pair as well. Sayori, like, very attached, very dependent on our well-being, but we seem to be the kind of person who is like completely lacking in direction. And so that's like kind of a caustic combination. Like our baseline is probably, you know, pretty minimal for like achievement and happiness because we're not really involved in this, don't really know what we're interested in, don't have a direction. And so for Sayori, someone who's like really, you know, invested in us having a direction, I bet that is like kind of distressing for her. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. That's probably why she's suggesting the club, right? I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late for your own club. Oh. Just sort of averted her eyes a little bit there. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori, yeah? There's no way I'm going to join your club. Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Oh, I guess that's the hook. All right, we're in. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. Yeah, of course you wouldn't be aware of that. Brady is not very perceptive. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. God damn it, Sayori. There's no reason to chide her, Brady, okay? She's clearly just invested in something. She wants to be involved in something. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I think she's more cunning than she lets on. I let out a long sigh. Fine. It's so fucking dramatic. I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go. See, even like performative commitment is like enough to brighten her day up. Which I also could see being a reason why we're sort of tepid to give into that, right? I certainly know that when I sense someone is like highly suggestive to my interests or desires, highly agreeable, meaning they'll shift their values around in order to align more closely with mine for fear of some kind of rejection. That can create like kind of an instinct to put some distance because it's not, you don't want someone's like happiness to be dependent fully on you either. That you may want to start setting up some boundaries. I don't think that that's what Anime Brady is doing. I think he's not fully aware of what may be going on, what the dynamics are there, but something to look out for. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member's here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Girl 1. Welcome to Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Girl number 2. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Girl 3. Brady, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. So she knows us. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What? I don't know what he expected. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki. always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Okay, we've got our full roster here. Let's start digging into the psychology. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. So she was a bit caught off guard by that compliment. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica. Is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Brady. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in the class. Smart, beautiful, and athletic. Basically completely out of my league. And what is your league, Brady? Curious about that. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come, sit down, Brady. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. So Natsuki is like quite forward, quite direct. Less concerned with being agreeable, more concerned with being mischaracterized. In fact, she seems quite particular about how she's seen by others. So different ways of being highly concerned with how other people perceive you. One being, I'm going to sort of shift myself around to be whatever you like. And Natsuki getting quite defensive, maybe even more protective of like who she is. Not so willing to shift herself around to meet other people's expectations. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Yuri, then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room, where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. That's right, she's a safe friend for us so far. Not totally sure what the motives of these others are, or what our motives are. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. Quite creative. So cute. Monica, I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know, proud of who she is. I respect that. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. She's so adorable. I love Sayori. She's just true to herself. Sort of. I feel like being around us makes her less true to herself. Because, I don't know, she seems to like want to make us happy and maybe even impress us at the cost of being herself. But at least here, she's when she's being a bit of a mess, I think there's no mask in a sense. I turn the cupcake around on my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. I swear, if you disappoint Natsuki here, I will fucking... I'll be so upset with you, Brady. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. I thought you technically did. So I already said, well, maybe, but not for, you, dummy. All right. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Very dismissive of these girls, Brady. Maybe if you are invested in getting to know them a little more, maybe you should consider a little bit about how they're feeling. Okay, how do you make them feel? One of the most important questions to actually ask with someone who is maybe a little unsure of themselves. In the course of the therapy, I'll ask them something like, what do you think other people feel around you when you're in a good mood? What do they experience, right? And you get a really interesting range of responses. A lot of times there's some hesitation to answer that because like they don't want to assume you know, that they have too much of an impact on other people. And so they'll say like, I don't know, I don't think that you know, really makes that much of a difference in other people's lives. It's like, okay, you just sort of give me a formulation about how you see yourself and your impact on people. Maybe you don't see that you have an impact on people. Some people will say, oh, well, when I'm in a good mood, you're probably going to be in a good mood. You know, I just like have this effusive positivity that just radiates on people. And then they've sort of revealed that they see that they have quite a ripple effect on people. What they might overlook is if I'm the type of person who is like very hyperactive and, you know, maybe even a little bit suffocating, like let's say Sayori can sometimes be, the impact that she has on everyone might not be that it's always a good mood that she puts them in. In fact, I would feel a little bit around Sayori like that she's not always in balance emotionally, like I was kind of getting at earlier. Like she seems positive, you know, happy in a sense, or at least like presenting happy, but on kind of a tightrope of anxiety with it. And so like I might feel positive around her, but I also would feel a sense of fragility, which I don't know if Sayori would detect. Is she aware that like her effect on people is to make them feel a little bit like fragile, tepid around her? Like that if they said the wrong thing, it would like really throw her off. And so they're very, you know, they make sure that they're responding positively to what she says, which to her, from her perception, would be like, yeah, everyone around me is happy. That's my goal, right? But we might be masking that like underneath that, I'm like actually kind of worried about Sayori. So that's something like important to kind of keep in mind as we get to know these characters. Like, what do they think people feel when they're around them? Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. Brady, you keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea really help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. Now, Monica, she seems very confident. What does she think her impact on people is? I mean, she's the leader of the club. She's sporty. She's smart. She's basically perfect, right? You know, as far as she appears. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow and smiles at me. So, what made you consider the literature club? She's very forward as well. Just look at this like power stance that she's in. Like, I think that she's enjoying sort of being in control of this situation. It's very, right? Like what sort of feeling do I have being around her? Like kind of like, wow, you know, it's just a bit of a wow factor, but not necessarily always in a pleasant way. Like I feel a little intimidated by her, to be honest. And it seems like my anime version does too. I was afraid of this question. Yes, she has a, we feel afraid of her in a sense. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay. Don't be embarrassed. I imagine she talks like, yeah, at a louder volume as well. Don't be embarrassed. It's like a command. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? So, okay, I get the feeling that she likes to be in control. Sometimes when you ask people that question, what do people feel around you? Again, you'll get mixed responses. I imagine Monica would say something like, oh, I put people at ease. When maybe she's having the opposite effect, right? Like, yes, you're sort of the leader of the club and you're the best at everything and you sort of, you know, arrange things to specification. But that may also make people feel kind of tense and constrained, which from her perception might look like contentment. But internally, I feel a little constrained. As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Okay, clearly Brady is impressed. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Bro, you don't have a chance with her. Okay, you already said so. She's out of your league. Well, you know, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. So that's commendable. She's passionate, right? And passionate people, like, it can be very inspiring, you know, to be around someone with like clear motive and direction. Especially for someone like neat Brady here, who's kind of lacking that right now. To be quite like taken with Monica's seeming self-assurance that she really knows what she wants and goes after it. Again, though, that can feel a little bit like maybe a little stifling, especially if she, you know, she's the leader of the club. Like, what's her agenda look like, and how much input is really valued by other people when she's sort of got her vision. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Oh, interesting we didn't get Natsuki's point of view. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. So Sayori, their responses were kind of interesting, right? Like Sayori was quite expressive. Like, yeah, she's a great leader, you know? I think that, like, Sayori determines how things are going for her just kind of based on what the vibe is for other people. Is Brady happy? Is Monica happy? Is Yuri happy? Okay, I'm happy, right? She seems like quite impressionable on that end, whereas Yuri was just sort of compliant. But she did get sort of like, I don't know, called out by Monica. I wonder what they all think of her, actually. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. And yeah, not as excited as Sayori, although it might be hard to meet her energy there. Looks like Natsuki's up for it, though. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they're all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Brady, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half choking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Dang! It's pinned down for liking manga. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. Okay, so she's a pretty deep thinker. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Ooh, okay, actually, I like that. I am also quite taken with psychological themes, obviously. So yeah, I'm curious if we get to know more about how she developed that interest. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp at something I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. So she likes her perspective to be challenged, right? She's not unfamiliar with introspection, perhaps. Maybe she's thought a lot about herself. But there's like also something out of sync about her too, because she's speaking like very confidently here, in a way that she like clams up and seems very timid outside of this subject, which is pretty interesting. Ugh, I hate horror. Why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. Monica, that's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud. And give that back. Fine. This is the second time Monica's like almost purposefully embarrassed someone. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori slides up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! You're not so easily going to win Natsuki's heart, okay? She's quite defensive over it. Possibly with good reason. And Natsuki's one that I might ask, like, so how do you think you make people feel when you are sort of reactive and confrontational like this, right? Even if a bit defensive. And she might say something like, well, why should I care? I don't know how they feel. Why are they asking? Which tells us quite a bit, actually. It tells us that she's not doing this because she like wants to antagonize people, but like this behavior is out of confusion. She's not sure how to react, and this is sort of her like compensatory behavior. And that's actually a really important like thing to bring up as we dig into the psychology of all these characters, is the difference between like a coping behavior and a compensation behavior. Because that's usually what I'm listening for with anxiety too. So like coping is some kind of like productive response to distress, usually a redirection of emotion in some way. You're either trying to change your situation in a productive way or change how you feel about the situation. There's some kind of transformation from like, you know, negative feeling to like more positive or at least unstressed feeling. So if I'm stressed about work, I might like take a day off. I might go out, you know, and have a nice walk in the park or something, right? Like if you have a bucket of stress, okay, the stress bucket, and there's water in it, like coping is going to lower the water line over time, okay? It's going to relieve you of the stress in some way, okay? Compensation behavior or compensatory behavior. It's kind of like if there's water in the bucket, instead of like, you know, letting it out in a productive way, we're sort of scooping our hand in and like pulling it out, but the activity itself is its own stressor. Compensation behaviors are less productive ways of dealing with anxiety, where it's usually coming from a place of like trying to make up for a lack of something. So it comes from an insecurity. Like if I'm worried about being annoying to people, like maybe Sayori sometimes feels, the compensation behavior might be to like, you know, I'm just going to isolate from everyone. If they all find me annoying, right, then like I'm not really escaping the stress of being annoying. I'm compensating for what feels like a lack of acceptability by like just removing myself from the situation, which is going to add its own kind of stress. Like it's just a different kind of stress. Compensation is not always direct. Like it can have non-linear relationships. You see it a lot in eating disorders. For example, like I'm stressed about my body image, and so the compensation behavior is to like highly restrict my caloric intake. It's to skip meals, it's to purge, it's to do things that are the psychological incentive is there is a feeling of lacking something, and the compensation is making up for it. It's not the same thing as coping with it. It doesn't relieve you of the distress and build something productive from it. It's just sort of scooping out some of the water, but like, you know, it's filling up just as fast. In fact, it may even stress you out more. So Natsuki, for example, right? Like, her reactivity to me seems like a compensatory behavior. It's not like in her value system to be like defensive and abrasive. I think it comes from what seems like an insecurity about being accepted by others, or maybe she doesn't want to be like narrowed down to like, oh, you're cute and that's all you are. Like, you're not very complex. I don't know, maybe she feels a certain way about that inference. And so her compensation behavior is to like make a bigger, you know, reaction. Like, no, that's not what's going on. So it's compensating for this lack of security about how she is coming across to people. It's not necessarily intentional, right? Like, nor is it really resolving the issue. It's just sort of like kicking the can down the road in a sense, and maybe even straining her more. Coping with that, you know, might look like something different. Like, if she actually wants people to think of her in more complex ways, like really investing in demonstrating that to people rather than sort of compensating by like kind of lashing out, you know, at them for it. And I think that she would feel a lot more satisfied with that when someone like feels surprised that she has a lot more depth to her than they normally think, versus like what we're seeing, which is more of a reaction to anxiety. Sayori is also having like some compensatory behavior, it seems, in her like high agreeableness, like always wanting to be positive around everything and everyone, and everyone's got to be, you know, in a good mood and all this. That's not coping, like, because she's anxious if that's not happening, if people are upset or whatever. So if she's compensating, what is she making up for a lack of? Maybe something in herself, like she's not happy herself, and so she's kind of very dependent on other people's happiness. So the compensatory behavior is like, I try to make Brady happy. I try to make the club fun for everyone. I try to like build Natsuki up when she's feeling down, you know, like I remind Yuri that she's like smart, and like these are nice behaviors. They're great, but I do see them as kind of part of the mask over anxiety because it's persistent. It's ongoing, right? It looks more like compensation behavior because she's not actually comfortable with like any kind of chaos or conflict. Maybe coping behaviors, you know, it might even look like the same thing, like, you know, being able to help people out, but she would not be in distress if things are not going perfectly. So it just would present very differently. So these are the things that just come to mind as I like get to know them a little bit. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. That not very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems. But like, look how immediately shut down she is. And Monica is just loving this. I think she kind of thrives on like, I don't know, that exposure aspect of this. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Huh? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. So here's the complex question. What is Monica compensating for? Her presentation is not immediately anxiety to me. There is a certain kind of compensation behavior that is like more invisible. You'll see this in like, if you were to get in someone's car and their gas tank is always full tank of gas. And just every time you got in the car, it's always full. You would never know that, like, when it's just down a little bit, she immediately goes and fills it up. Like, the compensation behavior is so proactive in a sense, maybe even obsessive, to the point that, like, anyone on the outside looking in would just see someone who's like, oh, very responsible. Your gas tank's always full. You're never going to run out. Yeah, she's never going to run out. In fact, she's never even going to get close to a glimpse of running out. Her compensation behavior is like over control, which, what is that making up for that she's lacking in? I don't know yet. There's something going on though, like between all of them. Or everyone's got a little bit of a different mask that they're wearing. And I think Monica sees that, and I think she's thriving on getting a look behind the mask. Yeah, let's do it, Sayori. I fucking love Sayori. I think she is the one true fucking girl here. Like I said about Natsuki, really for all of them, if Brady hurts even a single one of them, if he shatters even a fucking morsel of their hearts, he's done for. It's over between us, me and myself. Back in the power stance. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Brady? Again, it's like such an overpowering presence. Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I'd join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. I swear to God, Brady, I will crush you. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. I never want to see them like this again, ever. Make them happy, Brady. Make them happy now. But I'm sorry. I thought, Brady, you all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. God damn it. God damn it, you better. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. So even as I like narrate her dialogue, it feels abrasive. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Brady, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. I'll bet you do, Monica. I'll bet that you're very observant to what my vulnerabilities, everyone's vulnerabilities are. Because, like, how else could you sort of maintain your own composure, keep the gas tank full? In a sense, if you don't know what everyone else's weaknesses are. I mean, you got to stay ahead. You got to stay ahead. She's the president of the literature club. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? No. The answer is no. You're not going to impress her, bro. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Brady. Since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right. Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay. That's the only sensible thing to do. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right, I just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Okay. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Oh, okay. So, oh, it's just Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri. There's no Monica. That's interesting. So we kind of have to choose, I guess, like who we're going for here. But interesting that we can't choose Monica. What's up with that? Maybe it's just that we're not going to impress her. Okay, so let's see. Sensation. Okay, so Yuri liked that one. I find maybe my like personal interests align most with Yuri. I like horror. I like psychology. I do like, you know, some complex layers to my characters and writing. My heart says Sayori though, but I don't know. Maybe we'll go like, you know, for we'll check out like I guess the different routes and see what they're all about. But maybe we'll choose Yuri first. Horror. Intellectual. It's got to be Yuri. We're really gonna impress her, I'm sure. I don't know. Extreme. Disarray. Jeez. I'm starting to get like misery. What? That made Sayori jump? Why? Why did that make Sayori jump? Secretive. Oh, my heart. I don't know if I can handle this game if something happens to that sweet cinnamon bun, Sayori. Is she secretly that miserable? Empty. Oh my god! No, Sayori, are you empty? What's going on? My like therapy instincts are kicking in. How can I help? Oh, this is gonna fucking break me. I swear to God, if anything happens to her. Desire. Melancholy. Anxiety. Okay. Rat. Yes. Unrestrained. Unending, maybe. See, I got the instinct for the misery. I'm a bit taken aback by poor Sayori is miserable and empty. What about destiny? Okay, we're at 15. I mean, my heart says kitty, but if we're going with Yuri, she's probably tragedy. No, what is going on? Why is this happening? Oh, man, if her like bubbly personality is really that much of a mask, there's something dark going on. Graveyard, yeah, that's got to be Yuri. Disoriented. Cry. Sayori, no. What's going on? What's going on? And why aren't you showing this to anybody? Why all the compensation? Oh, honey, you're not lacking in any way. Tears, I swear, if Sayori jumps. Oh, no. No. Oh, no. I'm now feeling like Sayori. My priority is just making her happy. Existence. Okay, yeah, that was a Yuri word as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Why was she the words she jumped at were like cry, tears, empty, misery. So it's possible that like almost all of her positivity, her effusive positivity, is compensation behavior, making up for a lack of like inner happiness. Oh, Sayori. We gotta help her. Hi again, Brady. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Brady. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on! Like he deserves any slack. Damn. I do appreciate Natsuki not letting us off the hook here. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. That's right. Fucking hold us to account, Natsuki, okay? Do not let us get away with insincere motives, okay? I do not want to see neat Brady get involved in this club for the wrong reasons, which is just to fucking get with one of these girls, okay? Especially now that I know that they've all got some fucking deep darkness inside of them, probably. It may just come down to us to protect them, if possible. I just have to remember, Brady in the game is not Brady in reality. He does not have the therapeutic toolkit or deduction skills that he needs to save them. I'm pretty sure, actually, he's going to fumble it. He may just fumble it. Natsuki, you clearly have a big mouth. Or you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Look how happy she is. Dude, Monica is very comfortable tearing into people. It's sort of elevating the things that are behind their mask. And like, she enjoys that. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica or manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Oh, baby girl. It's just like painful to look at her now. What's in her heart? Brady always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. There's just like a somberness to her now. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. Wait, no. It's starting to come together. The messy room, the oversleeping, the like high dependency on other people. Oh, Sayori. She might be depressed. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Brady can become good friends too. Sayori? As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today. You know. Wait, Sayori. Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. Okay, that's actually a nice thing that he's doing. He's trying to console her a little bit. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. All right. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so you should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How's this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression. Maybe she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Natsuki, she does seem like a rummager. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad from distracting from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. Looks like the same book she lent to me. I'm sensing a strategy here. More than that, she seems to be on the very first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. That only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... that's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. Alright, maybe Brady is a little more observant than I gave him credit for. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious. How come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Haha, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me. I decide to let it go. Okay, he's being a bit more smooth in this case than he has been so far. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about, anyway? Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. All right. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. As soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Brady? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. That's true, like... I wonder which one is more of the mask. I mean, I get the sense that, like, the shy, timid presentation is a mask for probably some, like, really well-traveled, dark pathways in her own mind. Because she gets like that. When she starts talking about, like, the dark stories or those themes, like, there's no, like, hesitation tags in her speech. Like, sometimes I'll point that out for someone, like, when I sense that there's, like, a confidence issue that the person's not necessarily aware of, I'll sort of, like, point that out for them, right? Like a therapeutic intervention might sound like, you know, I noticed that when you start a lot of your sentences, you start them with, I don't know, or you end them with, like, I guess. And it can be kind of confronting, right? To be given that observation, because it suddenly makes you, like, a lot more aware of the behavior. And typically when we become aware of, like, a behavior like that, we do the same thing. We compensate. Like, if you see someone tapping their foot, let's say, if you point this out and you say something like, you know, I noticed that when we started talking about family life, you started tapping your foot. Almost without fail, they stop, right? Because that was a compensation behavior. Like, it's compensating for, you know, the intensity of the subject, the anxiety, let's say. And we do not usually intend compensatory behavior, so we immediately suppress it. So when I give a reflection like that, you know, you have these sort of uncertainty tags, like in your sentences, like, I guess, or I don't know. Like, did you notice that? And almost immediately, you'll find them sort of like hyper-focusing on excluding that from what they're trying to say. Well, I mean, sometimes I just don't know what to say, I guess. Like, you can start to see that people are not usually aware of some of those kinds of statements and what they kind of reveal. And you can see that with Yuri. She's like kind of, you know, uncertain about what she's saying sometimes, but like she's very certain, very confident when she's talking about something that's like deeply personal. So I think the timid side of her is more a mask for this, I don't know, I guess like known darkness about her. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at a life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in, then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plan. I'm rambling, aren't I? Look how immediately she, like, resumes the uncertainty, you know, stammering. Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's all right then. See, she said, I guess it's all right then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put in my bag. All right, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. I'm being a little bit distracted myself, if you can't tell, by a little creature who also craves attention. And who always gets it. The punishment for distracting me is you get scratches and pets. That's your punishment. You got to teach the cat a lesson, okay? When they want attention, you just give it to them. That'll really teach them the lesson, right? Anyways, well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. All right. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? Oh, he's doing it. He's doing the thing. He's doing the observation thing. Maybe this Brady does know a little bit of a little bit of what I know. I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, it's immediate suppression, right? As soon as you become aware of it, like, you realize it's compensation. You want to put the mask back on? Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. There it is again. Like, I suppose, I guess. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead, I use my right hand to hold the book open. Ah, I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Oh, okay. Actually, things are getting a little more intimate. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. Ah, I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips into her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. Yeah, no fucking shit it is. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, now Yuri's being smooth. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. Okay, I actually gotta give Neat Brady some credit. He's not going about it in a therapeutic angle sense, and I'm still a bit skeptical of his intentions here, if they are actually pure. But he definitely does pick up on some of these things, and the therapeutic context is to elevate for that person awareness of their mannerisms and that sort of hesitation tag in the sentence to help them understand, like, again, their impact on people and whether their internalization of themselves is what other people receive and that sort of thing. Brady's aims here are a little less clear. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Brady, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that... Well, wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I didn't know you were so self-conscious about that sort of thing. See, that's, yeah, not fumbling, bro. It's a weird thing to say to someone outside of a therapy session, actually. Like, there is an assumption in a therapy session that, like, that's my role. That's what I'm there to do, is, like, observe someone's behavior and elevate awareness to it. But, like, doing it for someone outside of that is, like, kind of odd, actually. Like, I'm watching you. I'm watching your behaviors. I guess I meant more that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. Fucking Monica. What does she want to... She wants to come in and control the situation. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. Monica knows exactly what she's doing in that fucking power stance. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. All right, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? Okay. All right, I see. He's making a move. How'd she respond? I guess I don't have too much. There it is again. I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. Yeah, like, what does it say that there is a quiet certainty about things in Yuri's life that are on the darker side of things. But when it comes to intimacy and closeness, she's very uncertain, very hesitant. She's also kind of embarrassed or unsure about like how the dark side of her is perceived, so she often puts the mask of timidness over it when it's exposed. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? It's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. All right. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. Look at that. Again, Monica does not make us feel relaxed. I think she makes us feel tense. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf, torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Okay, it's poem time. Who should I show it to first? I mean, I guess we are going with like the Yuri focus for now. We've made our first move, and there's definitely some shared sentiment about, you know, some of the subjects of interest. But my heart just bleeds for Sayori. We'll go with Yuri first. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Fucking really? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's gonna hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? That's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. Watch as she starts to get more in her, like, area of expertise. This, like, world of writing and themes and symbolism and that sort of thing. Without the, you know, uncertainty tagging in her language, there's so much more confidence, so much more certainty about her. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. Wow, this is really actually a fucking analysis. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes, yeah. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. Back to the stammering. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. Over-apologizing. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily. As if that's a rare opportunity for her. I think the protagonist actually does like Yuri, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Okay. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm. Breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. That's a nice closer there. I flicker back. I like that. So this is a poem about a ghost who is looking for the last remaining streetlight, which is being replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. So the future is literally devouring the light source. Purely from like a concrete, non-metaphorical reading of this, it seems like the future is darkness. And she's bathing in the last remaining vestige of, I don't know, serenity in the present, maybe. Breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. So the light flickering could be it going out, and I flicker back, also going out. Is she saying, like, when I have no more hope for the future, the light ends and so do I? The sickening blue-green hue of the future. Like, the future is, like, darkness, and it's also, like, poison, in a sense. What's going on, Yuri? First Sayori with the emptiness and sadness, and now Yuri with this, like, hopelessness? I mean, I know she's, like, insecure, but is it, like, really bad? Might be worse than it seems. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Yes, because I was taking a significant drink of the poem. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. Oh, that's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. That's concerning. This was a mild poem about someone basically giving up and flickering out because the darkness of the future is consuming our life force, essentially. Something easy to digest, I suppose. What is going on, Yuri? Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Okay. Fumble, Brady. The people around you may be fucking suffering, actually. Like, they might not just be like, you know, your low-grade insecurity, social anxiety kind of shit. They may be suffering inside. And you have the potential to bring them back from the brink. As long as you are not a basic piece of shit, you give them attention, validate their experiences, listen to them, be kind to them. If you happen to fall in love with them, whatever, that's also great, that's fine. Just don't be a fucking shithead to them. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Brady. Really? Come on, man! Use your powers of deduction. You've proven you have them. I must have totally missed a point. Yeah, no fucking shit, man. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it at all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing, That's a lot more solid putting it that way. Yeah, Brady. Yeah. I'm glad you're picking up on that scrap of insight. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so no. If anything, I could probably learn a thing for two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all of this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Brady. My main concern here is that they all deserve better than us. Whoever we're going for here, I'm not sure if this Brady is the guy. I think he has a lot of potential to fumble this and potentially actually cause harm. Me too. I'll give him some credit though. He's not such a piece of shit. I think he does care about Sayori. I think he's just blind to what's going on with her. I do think maybe he is developing a genuine connection with Yuri, at least so far. Similarly blind to some things though. Not that we're like responsible for saving them or anything, but I don't know. We could be a good influence. Could also be a bad influence. Okay, let's do Natsuki next. Brady, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. Damn. Just go straight for the call out. I respect this about Natsuki. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? See, I was kind of getting at this earlier. I think that she's concerned with what people think about her, but she's not willing to be agreeable to that. She's much more confrontational about it. I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put an effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Natsuki, what's going on? Honey, all of them. Except Monica. I don't necessarily... There's a darkness about her, but it's not giving I'm in trouble. It's giving I am the trouble. Aw, this is Natsuki. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. I like this. This is great. She's highlighting the positive qualities of all of these other creatures. Has a pretty negative view of people. Like that they don't really have anything going on for themselves. They can aspire to greatness, but they'll never achieve it. Which does go in line with her, like, everything, you know, people are gonna think I'm stupid, everything I do is dumb. God damn it, this game. And Natsuki seems to be struggling with some negative self-evaluation. So a lot of her compensation behavior is to make up for the lack of self-esteem by, like, you know, being quite abrasive to other people, feeling overly defensive, let's say, calling other people out. Like I said, it's not always going to be like, oh, I feel bad about myself, so the compensation is going to be to, like, talk up myself. Compensatory behavior can be sort of, like, unrelated, which is why it's a little harder to detect. At the same time, like, this writing poems could be a good coping behavior because it's like a healthy outlet to explore genuine feelings that she has, to share them with people, to get insight about them, to feel creative about it. Like, great coping skill. But I do want to see her develop more of a internal positive regard. Something where she doesn't feel the need to be so defensive or so combative with people because she finds some security in self. I would love to see that for Natsuki. Yeah, I told you weren't going to like it. I like it. I do like it. I genuinely like it. It says a lot with little. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Okay, I'm liking Brady more and more in this conversation. He's doing the right thing for her. He's trying to provide some validation here. Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. I did say he should validate them. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then I made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. And Natsuki, she's kind of a genius. She's kind of got a lot of depth to her. I actually think that's really clever. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. There it is. There is a little bit of pride hiding behind that mask of abrasiveness. And a willingness to connect when she feels like she's not going to be judged for it. Again, I really respect her directness, but I think that the defensiveness is more compensation than it is coping. This is proper coping. This is like, I'm getting my feelings out, I'm talking about them, I'm not defending them, I'm not feeling the need to justify them. Like, she's being true to herself in this moment. And she's giving herself props. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't really care how old everyone is. But if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Fucking alright. Not being a scumbag. That's an alright thing you're doing here, Brady. Neat Brady. Thank you for not being a scumbag to her. Who should I show my poem to next? Alright, let's go with Sayori. This is a good poem, Brady. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It reminds me of how you're really part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Bro, okay, where is that kindness that you just had for Natsuki? That ability to peer beyond the mask and see her for what she is and validate that. Okay, where is that energy for Sayori, who may actually be struggling more than anyone else? Empty, misery, tears, crying. Like, those are the words that she resonated with. Wake the fuck up, Brady. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Brady. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. Genuinely, thanks. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, yeah, what is your motive? I swear if you hurt her. I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. This is such a whirlwind. I'm like, fuck you, Brady. You're being a shithead. You have insincere methods. And he's like, wait a second. I'm validating. I'm elevating their experience. I'm being kind to them. And then I'm telling her that she's annoying and dismissing her. And I'm like, bro, there's a bit of a mask in front of us as well. Everybody here has got some kind of mask on. Knowing how much this means to her and all. It's clear that he does care about Sayori. Care more before she's in danger. And I'm going to make sure I have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. All right. I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay. Now you read my poem too, right? Oh my god, this is actually what I'm looking forward to. Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. I'm gonna cry. The poem's called Dear Sunshine. The way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I won breakfast. Oh man, she's the one true one. She is. She just is. She just is. Dear Sunshine. Okay. Let's critically evaluate this here. I mean, it could very well just be about sunshine, literally. It's the thing that gets her up. But I do think that she has kind of a fixation on us, particularly. Perhaps we are the sunshine. Which, again, is concerning to me. Okay? If there is an emptiness about her, and we are the one thing that is filling that vacancy, she does not have an internal self-validating ability. And so, like, what happens if we do go with Yuri or Natsuki or anyone else? Or we move away, or if things don't work out, like, what does she have? This is very concerning. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. I mean, she's literally talking about, yeah, if the sun was never rising, it would always be nighttime and she'd be asleep. But I'm actually like, okay, I would literally die without you. Which, didn't she say something like that, like very early on? Like, I would die if I wasn't thinking that deeply about it then, but oh man, all she wants is someone to love her. But Sayori, you gotta learn to love yourself. You gotta love yourself first. And I just don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we're not capable of filling that space. Even if we were to fall in love. Sayori, there needs to be a space in your heart for Sayori. And we'll probably talk about how that happens over the course of this game. Because that's really important to me, actually. You know, how you develop your self-relationship. I don't want to see her rely on compensation. Because all compensation behavior is focused on what you are lacking and how you're trying to make up for that. It's just splashing water out of the bucket instead of really doing something about it. Someone else's love cannot replace love for yourself. It can be a nice addition to it, absolutely. But it can't be the same thing. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. It's just so her. It's just so her. She's really... She's true to herself in a way that's painful because she... I don't know if she likes what she is herself. Oh, Sayori, why can't you see what everyone else sees? I'm sure that you're such a positive influence, but do it for yourself, okay? Don't do it for me or anyone else. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be so mean. I still tried my best. Yeah, I didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you, it really does. She's the one true one. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. God damn it, she's perfect. Even though you were late to school, it's bad to skip breakfast. Completely agree. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah. Why are we just giving credit to Monica there? What the fuck did she do? But next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Okay. Who should I show my poem to next? Monica. Hi, Brady. Having a good time so far? Are you having a good time? Yeah. It was a great time. Blink if I'm in distress. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Yeah, I'm sure. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? All right, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. Yeah. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Brady. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Brady. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. Why does this sound patronizing? It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to... Oh, this is me. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. She really doesn't linger on the emotional content of any particular engagement, does she? You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. I think there's more to Sayori than you think, Monica. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. Yeah, why would you? I don't think she's interested. I don't think she's interested really at all. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I love to see you try new things. Okay, I mean, I've been pretty harsh on Monica. You know, she seems kind of like intense, the controlling. Those very well could be their own compensation behaviors. Probably a bit of perfectionism, maybe some, I don't know, high achieving parents with very high expectations for her. That's gotta be tense, you know? That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kind of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. I mean, she did put the club together. She's bringing together new friends. She's motivating us in her own way. I don't want to be too harsh on her just yet. I just get that it's just she's very intense, and I just wonder what's behind that. Her compensation behavior is like very different than anxiety presenting in the others, which is sort of a tell for me. The presentable insecurity of the other girls is at least a sign of recognizing the anxiety that they have. They know, Yuri knows she's timid. Natsuki knows she can be kind of confrontational. Sayori knows that she can be like, yeah, maybe even a little bit airheaded and disorganized. Does Monica know that she is controlling and overbearing and intense? I don't know. There's more suppression of whatever she's got going on than the others. More suppression or more control over it, potentially. It could be deliberate obscuring. I don't know. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. So anyway, do you want to read? Let's get the real insight, okay? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. Yeah, there's definitely some like some perfectionism here. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction the speckle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. This is a little harder to piece together, which is kind of characteristic to Monica, isn't it? Harder to piece together. She is much better at wearing the mask than the others, who sort of slip behind it and forget to maintain it from time to time when they get nervous or something. Monica's always composed, though. Very intentional about what she shows to people. But it does seem like she notices some sort of disturbance, noisy neighbor, angry boyfriend. Peers inside for a clue. Maybe she senses danger somewhere and she's looking into it, but then she realizes she is the one trapped and she was looking out. I don't know. There's a lot more this one's a lot more guarded. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Okay. She said, I have to be confident. Imagine how intense that is to constantly maintain that image. Like, that is its own fatiguing performance. She's performing constantly. So deep into it that she may not even know how to present herself authentically anymore. Which is kind of tragic in its own way. Like, it means that no one really knows who she is. You can see that she's quite hesitant to show that too. Like, you know, maybe once everyone's better friends, but I imagine whatever she shows to people will still be highly curated. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip for the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. That's good advice. Thanks for listening. Whew. I guess that's everyone. Glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns to the poem on the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Okay, now we're starting to see some of the personalities clash. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Brady did too. Yeah, so you can see how, like, for someone who's very direct and confrontational like Natsuki, this, like, hesitancy that Yuri presents, it's not a, like, compatible exchange often. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. Oh, look now. She's completely gone confidence mode. No hesitation tags. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. And she's saying that yours isn't inspiring, Natsuki. How does she handle, like, someone being quite assertive? Which I haven't yet. Yeah. And Brady liked my poem too, you know. Girls, please do not fight over me. I am not worth it. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Brady appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Oh, she's calling him out for the compensation. Is everyone okay? Oh, Sayori getting involved. Sayori doesn't like conflict, you guys, okay? She wants everyone to be happy at all the time. You are ruining literature club for her. And I swear, no one is allowed to make Sayori upset. No one. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one who's... I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as praised. What am I doing? What is this? What has become of my fucking life? What am I doing here? I'm analyzing anime girls fighting over a fictional version of me, talking about their taste in literature and compensatory boob growing behaviors. It's fine. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... this doesn't involve you. Yes, that's right. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Brady, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should just jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. The more I read of this, the more sassy I realize Natsuki is. Help me explain that to her, Brady. Wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Brady? Well, you can't win, bro. You cannot win here. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course that's going to be, we can bring Sayori into this. Well, I mean, I think we're trying to, like, win Yuri's favor here, but I kind of want to get Sayori involved. Despite what she thinks of herself, I actually think she's probably the most, like, even-tempered out of the three. Which is interesting because Monica, the supposed leader who wants to be in control of anything, not very effective in this actual conflict scenario between her members. I guess we have to go with Yuri. You know, if we do multiple playthroughs of this, I'll get to see what happens when you help me, Sayori. But I'm gonna go with Yuri because we're trying to win her favor. Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. It's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone else's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri? You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, but here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it and it becomes something really personal. Wait a second. Bro's not fumbling here. Bro's actually being pretty... Brady, he's being diplomatic. He's being, you know, fair and reasonable to both of them right now. It doesn't even really feel like he's siding with Yuri here. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. Oh, I feel bad, but at the same time, it was handled diplomatically. I bet Sayori would have solved the problem, though. She's trapped, at this point being defiant, only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up feeling bad for her, yeah. All right. Sometimes me and Neat Brady line up pretty evenly. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to... You know what? I'm gonna do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Oh. Sayori was just trying to help with the good coping as well. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her own poem up from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumples up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. No. I don't want that. Natsuki, she really didn't need to do that. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Everything all right? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri. How could anyone not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, all right, I believe you. Thanks, Brady. You're too kind. I'm thankful to have you a part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, you know, I would never do anything so shameful. So, what thing did Natsuki say? Never mind that. I'm gonna make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Not every conflict has a perfect solution. Okay, everyone. That's probably why Monica didn't get involved. She just didn't see the worth of it. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was all right. Well, mostly. Brady, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you learned something from your friends too. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little bit about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job of impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Brady, ready to walk home? Sure. Let's go. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. Can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. That's it. That's it! I'm going after Yuri this time, but This playthrough ends with the Sayori route. The true closure. Because she is the really the one true love. I just think this Brady doesn't see it just yet. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. It's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. Oh, it's making me sad that they're not going to end up together now. At least for the first one. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. You know, Brady, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's... Every day is going to be so much fun. Looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat her on the shoulder. Oh no! She's been friend-zoned for this playthrough. Your time will come, Sayori. I promise. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this. Well, I think that's where we're going to pause for now. This is a very intense game. This is as intense or more intense than some of the other games we've played. Even though it's just about, like, I don't know, low-level school relationships and romantic flings and stuff. So far, anyways. But there is an observable darkness to all of the characters. They all have pretty complex layers. And I think we're going to peel back some of those layers the deeper we go into the narrative here. There's going to be a lot to talk about, I think, as we unveil more. But I'm genuinely worried because I'm very attached now to these characters, and they're so distinct that I worry that not all good things will come to them. And, well, we'll have to find our own ways to cope with that when it happens. So, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Therapist Plays Doki Doki Literature Club. I'll be continuing the playthrough probably, to the end of one route, and then we'll see what happens in some of the other ones. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did. I'm looking forward to the next one. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye. What? The hell is this? This still the game? What the heck is this? Settings? Music? Oh, this is like a... It's got the soundtrack. Okay, this is just like a file explorer, I guess. Got the characters there. It's kind of odd. It's cute. Mail? Do you have any mail? No. Files. What is this? Attributions? Is this like the games files? Internal. Note, insecure directory. This is a scratch disk, trying to use it. Maria is working on setting up... What the fuck is this? What is in all these folders? It looks like there's just nothing in them. No, or no, here's something. Track name ideas. Error, try again later. Okay, just can't open it, I guess. What the fuck? Game. Saves. My saves. Homewards. What? This is like all of the words to win their favor. Well, I don't want to see that. That's like spoilers. Not that it's like that hard to guess. What the fuck? Characters. Can we open them? No. Natsuki. No, can't open any of them. Delete. Can I delete them? Unable to delete Monica. What the fuck is going on in this? Side stories? Okay, it must be like some DLC or something. And then this is the game. What is this game? Actually. I mean, it looks to me like an anime visual novel where the characters are secretly depressed. But this, what is this? Why is there like another fucking meta layer to it that has the characters and the game files and all this shit? Why, what is the metaverse? All right, I don't fucking know. I guess we'll find out. I don't know what to think anymore. I'll just brace for the worst kind of fucking trauma there is, I guess. Because that's what I've learned to expect from you all. You lie. You all have lied to me, telling me that this was a cute little fucking detour from all the depression games that we were going to play. And now I don't know what to expect. I feel like I'm going to end up very, very sad at the end of this. You all just want to break me. That's what it is. That's just what it is. You all just want to break me into little tiny shattered pieces. Well, that's what you're getting. It's the entertainment you signed up for. So I'll see you for the next one.